Alright guys, so gonna be making our classical beat part 2. This time we're actually gonna be chopping up the song a little bit and trying to maybe make it sound a little bit less like the original. So I've already kind of pre-downloaded Ludwig van Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. If you don't know, it's the one that goes ba-da 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 ba-da. You should probably know. So I'm just gonna come into Soundtrap here. Similar process. I'm gonna be importing a file. Going to my downloads. Gonna open that up. Now once this loads, notice I have all the Midi files of the piece already here. That's pretty good, but it's a little slow. Let's try that. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, maybe a little slower. This time I'll do it manually. So just a little thing, if you tap your mouse here, you can get kind of whatever tempo you're feeling at the moment. Or you can kind of press plus or minus here at the tempo marking. So let's listen to that. Ooh, awesome. We even got some drums are already here, so some timpani, though we'll probably change that up as well. Now, for this beat, we're going to try to create two sections. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create what I'm going to call a verse section, so just kind of like an intro loop or an intro sample. And I'm going to make it like maybe 2 measures long. So I'm going to try to find like a 2-measure sample from this piece and see what I can do to make a verse. And then for my chorus, so my second part or my second section, I'm going to try to find like a 4-measure sample that I can use and loop a couple times with a drum beat and kind of make like a 2-section beat out of this famous Beethoven piece. So maybe for the first 2 section, or for the first section with 2 measures, might as well go with that beginning section, that popular melody. Let's see. Well, this is kind of part of the process. You got to listen to it and see what you like. Maybe that doesn't work as a 2-measure loop. Let me try this. Now, right now I'm like perfectly on beat if I adjust it slightly. So now I'm kind of like taking half of 1 measure, all of 2, half of 3, in a total of 2 measures. I can kind of play around with a loop. Alright, so right there, kind of got somewhat of a sample already. Now, as you notice, I don't really need all of this here. I'm gonna like mute solo this for a second. Yeah, so knowing Beethoven, all these instruments are playing the exact same thing. For a part like this, he liked, the strength of numbers. So I'm actually just gonna sample this one section right there. Right? Cool. A little trick, if you highlight everything, go to where you want to cut and press Command E, it'll cut them all at the same time. So now you see, boom, got a perfect little sample there. Awesome. So I'm going to come back to this. That's going to be my 2-measure sample. That's going to be basically like my verse or my intro. I'm going to look for my 4-measure sample now before I start deleting and chopping stuff up and making everything neat. So let's see what else we got. So I'll take off this loop. So this part is super epic, obviously. I might try to sample some of this. Let's see. I'm gonna move this over here. Let's just get like a random 4-measure place. Kind of cool. I think maybe just scooting this a little bit right over here. So right there, that's 4 measures, and it doesn't sound like much, but the chords are epic, and I think I can make it into something nice. So again, I'm gonna highlight everything as you saw. I'm gonna go to measure 23, Command E, or if you're on Windows, Control E. Then measure 27, Command E. Oh, well, you gotta select everything again. Command E. Ooh, awesome. And that's it. That's my 4-measure section right there. So at this point, I'm gonna just kind of cut to the chase and stick with that decision, and I'm gonna delete everything. Now, if you were not sure, if you were thinking maybe you'll second guess yourself or something, and you might want to resample another part of the song, then at that point, maybe don't delete everything. But in my case, I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna be happy with those choices, so I'm just gonna delete everything I don't need. All right. So like I said, we're making an intro or like a verse section that's gonna have a 2-measure loop, and we're gonna make a chorus or like a second section that's gonna have a 4-measure loop. So now my job is to kind of loop it a couple times. I'm gonna try to make this reach at least like a minute, so maybe like 30 seconds one beat, 30 seconds another, and then I'm gonna add some drums, maybe change up the instruments and stuff. So let's kind of just organize the first part now. So first we got to move this on beat. So we're gonna move this to the first measure, and we're gonna loop it. Let's see if we can loop it until it kind of reaches here. At this point, it's already at 30 seconds, so that's actually kind of perfect. We're gonna loop it. Boom. So it actually works out perfectly. So we'll have this for the whole beginning. Now, this is a part that we can mess with in this project, is maybe adjusting some of the lengths of the MIDI. So for example, if I go to edit notes, this note's hanging out a little too long, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna back them up, and I'm gonna have to do that to everybody here. You might not have to do this in your own loop or sample, but in my case, it's kind of hanging out there a little too long, so I'm backing them up here. All right, let me take a look. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't get too repetitive. Throwing some drums in there might help out. So let's get a beat on this. start here at the beginning. Before I drive myself crazy, let's loop this. Let's see let's see what it sounds like. All right. So I'm gonna make a totally different drum beat when the second part or our chorus comes in. All right, not bad. Not my favorite sample ever. Sometimes the most iconic beats maybe don't make the best samples. Um, I'll come back to this just to play around with the instruments. But I'm gonna leave that kind of as like my basis right now. We're just trying to get like 2 quick samples out of this piece. All right. So now I'm gonna come over here. All right. Let's listen to this. Okay, I dig. We got to loop it though. All right, so I'm gonna loop it. Yeah, we got just about a minute there. Okay. So start here, and I'm gonna add another drum track. This time, kind of keeping the beat similar. I'm slowing down the hi-hats because this part's a little bit more epic, and I wanted more, some more epicness here. Might go with like some tom sounds. Let me kind of change up the drum set. Maybe inspire me a little bit more. Old school tape. This one can be cool. Yeah, I love that, and I'm cool with that. If you like it right away, might be a good sign. Sometimes you just gotta trust your ears. See how that transitions. Now I feel like this drum set's exactly what it's called. It's vanilla. It doesn't feel good. So let's find a better one. Swish. Swish sounds cool. Let's try it. I think I'll keep it just because it's so different, and it's just gonna change, you know, the feel a lot. So I'll keep it. It's kind of a little bit lighter. Then it gets real deep there, so I kind of like that. So right there, that's pretty much the majority of what we're trying to do with this project. You want to create at least 2 different sections of your beat. So instead of, you know, taking one loop and adding some drums to it, you're finding 2 loops, this time in different measure lengths. So we got a 2 measure loop here and a 4 measure loop here. And it's like I'm creating a verse and a chorus. You could think of it that way. You could think of it as just creating 2 parts of a beat. Um, but basically, we're at least creating sections for ourselves. Um, Last thing I'll do here is kind of maybe change up some instruments. So contrabassi is gonna be our bass. We're gonna I'm gonna probably just stick to some nice clean sub. Let's see. So I'm just gonna press play here. So this might be a good time to maybe clean things up. So if you don't feel like you need all the instruments, if you have an arrangement that comes with a lot of instruments, maybe just use a couple. So I'm gonna maybe simplify my life here. Um, Synths, let's do something nice. Nervous violin? I don't know what that is, but we're gonna try it. Cool. So instead of muting this, since I realize I have this here, I'm gonna unmute it and just delete and delete. And then so I think I might keep it like this. I was gonna change all these instruments, but I kind of like the epicness of where the orchestral aspects come into this. So I might keep it this way and just leave my opening a little bit bare, a little bit more empty, so that when that chorus comes in, it hits really hard. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing you would want to do from here, just for your own creative purposes, is then just change up how beats stop, how they start. Maybe you have things that fade in and fade out. Like for example, like in this part where they transition, maybe you could have like a drop, so the music drops for a second, whatever it is. Different little touches, right, just to make it more unique and more your own, as opposed to just 2 beats playing side by side. But that's going to be the general idea of what we're trying to go for here. Just creating beats and samples out of, obviously previously made material. And in this case, famous, classic compositions from the past, and taking their inspiration and modernizing it, bringing it into 2020 or just, the future. So that'll be it, guys. Save it, share it, do your thing. And yeah, find some classical composers. Get your Mozart on. All right. I'll see you soon.